The Tariff Effect, a story of trade, prices, and policy. In the bustling port of Los Angeles, thousands of shipping containers arrive daily, filled with everything from electronics and clothing to steel and car parts. These goods come from countries around the world: China, Mexico, Germany, and beyond, ready to stock American store shelves. But something changed in recent years that shook the rhythm of global trade: U.S. tariffs. What are tariffs, and why do they exist? Tariffs are taxes imposed by a government on imported goods. In theory, they serve several purposes: to protect domestic industries from foreign competition, encourage American manufacturing, and sometimes respond to unfair trade practices abroad. In 2018, the U.S. government began implementing a series of tariffs on hundreds of products, particularly from China. The stated goal: to reduce the trade deficit and push foreign countries to play fair on issues like intellectual property and subsidies. Tariffs on steel and aluminum soon followed, as well as duties on products like solar panels, washing machines, and even food items. The journey of a product, from factory to checkout. Imagine a toaster built in China and shipped to the U.S. Before the tariff, it sold for $25 in stores. After a 25% tariff, the importer now pays an extra $6.25 per toaster at the border. That cost doesn't just disappear, it's passed down the line. Retailers increase the price to cover the tariff, and suddenly, the same toaster now sells for $32. Multiply that by millions of products, from electronics to everyday household goods, and the effects ripple through the entire economy. Impact on the American consumer. For the average American family, tariffs often mean higher prices. According to studies by economic think tanks and the Federal Reserve, tariffs implemented from 2018 onward led to noticeable price increases on a range of consumer goods. Families shopping for washing machines, furniture, or even groceries with imported ingredients started feeling the pinch. In essence, tariffs operate like a hidden tax on consumers, especially on lower and middle-income households that spend a larger share of their income on goods. Impact on businesses and jobs. American manufacturers of competing products sometimes benefit, at least temporarily. A U.S. steelmaker, for instance, may gain a pricing advantage when foreign steel becomes more expensive due to tariffs. That can help protect jobs and boost local production. However, businesses that rely on imported materials, like automakers, construction companies, or electronics manufacturers, face rising costs. Some firms delay expansion, freeze hiring, or raise prices. Small businesses, in particular, struggle to absorb the added expenses. Retaliation also complicates the picture. When the U.S. imposes tariffs, trading partners often retaliate with tariffs of their own. American farmers, for example, were hit hard when China and other countries responded with tariffs on soybeans, pork, and dairy products. The result? Lost markets and declining exports. The bigger picture. The economy tariffs can affect the economy in several ways. Short term. They may protect jobs in certain industries and reduce reliance on foreign goods. Long term. They often disrupt supply chains, increase consumer prices, and reduce overall economic efficiency. According to estimates by the Congressional Budget Office and other economic models, tariffs in recent years reduced U.S. GDP slightly, primarily due to reduced trade and higher input costs. Policy shifts and future outlook. Tariff policy continues to evolve. Some are rolled back as trade negotiations succeed. Others remain in place due to geopolitical concerns or as leverage. For example, the U.S.-China trade war led to a partial agreement, but many tariffs are still active today. There's also increasing political debate. Some leaders argue for Buy American policies and stronger industrial protections, while others advocate for global free trade and cooperation. Conclusion: a balancing act. Tariffs are not inherently good or bad, they're tools. Like any tool, their impact depends on how, when, and why they're used. For the American consumer, tariffs often mean paying more at the checkout. For the economy, they can create both winners and losers, boosting some sectors while hurting others. For policymakers, they represent a complex balancing act between protecting domestic interests and keeping the economy competitive on a global scale. In the end, the story of tariffs is a reminder that every choice in trade policy carries consequences for businesses, for workers, and for families across the United States.